All right, guys. Said I was gonna take a break, but after that whole debate, the flat Earth debate I had, since I couldn't bring out all the biblical truths, and since I was shut down multiple times, could hardly explain anything from the scriptures, because this is what matters, from the scriptures. Okay, so we're going to start off in Genesis, the original creation. We're going to talk about the sun and the moon because I have had a lot of questions about, the way the sun and the moon moves, right? So I want to get a few out of here, and I want to go into the book of Enoch, right? Enoch, seventh from Adam, was taken up, and he's seen everything God created. Yah showed him everything. Okay, everything. This guy is appointed over the watchers, the fallen angels. So he's going to be the one that's going to be with the people that's going to be judging the angels, right? Is it like it says in the scriptures when it says, is it not written that ye shall judge angels? See, we got power over those fallen angels, but a lot of people don't use that power, because they're, first off, not Ephesians 6:12 through 18 up. They don't got that full armor on. The first piece of armor is the truth. We'll get that at the end of this video. And it's on my about section. I posted that. So let's go into this. We're just going to focus on the sun and the moon for right now. Okay. Then we'll go into like all the other stuff later. But it says here, and Yah said, let there be lights. Lights. They're not planets. They're not celestial beings. They're lights. Let there be lights in the firmament. They're inside the firmament, in earth, of the heaven, to divide the day from the night. Let them be for signs. We already know blood moons and eclipses are signs, because he created it for that. So if he created it, we should be going to the one who created it to understand it. Not any mere man that didn't even form one little speck of dust on this earth. For seasons, for days, and for years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights. It doesn't mention planets. He didn't create planets. When you read further in the Bible, it says stars fall to the earth. Not meteors, not asteroids, not comets. They call it that. It's a deception because they know most people ain't going to read their Bible here. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And it was so. And Yah saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. So the first day he created the light. The fourth day he created the sun, the moon, and the stars. Okay. Well, let me bring something up for you guys. As I go into this next verse in here, I'm going to read out of one of Wernher von Braun. You all know who Wernher von Braun is, right? Wernher von Braun was an astrophysicist, right? He was an astronaut. He believed there was outer space, right? He believed there was outer space. Okay, let's look at the images of Wernher von Braun, his tombstone, and you can go and do research on this guy. Let's get this one. He was an astronaut. He was on the Apollo 13, right? Apollo, Revelations 9:11, Apollyon with the white horse. If you guys see this, who's that rider on the white horse? It looks like 4 horsemen here, but missing one. But you see this white horse? You see the Apollo or Apollyon And the number 13 is in the Bible. When you look up what the number 13 means in the Bible, it means the rebellion, right? 13 in the Bible is rebel, right? So he has on his tombstone, this astronaut, scientist, astrophysicist, has a Bible passage here, and it's Psalms 19:1. Now let's go and read that. Why is it that this astronaut has a Bible verse on his tombstone when he was an atheist? Here you see he had Psalm 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of Yah, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. So what is the firmament showing us? His handiwork, how he crafted his earth, right? Now, let's get into Ezekiel. I want to get into Ezekiel chapter 1, and it's called Ezekiel's Wills, okay? Ezekiel's Wills deals with well, I'm not going to get into that. I probably might send people, if you want to see Ezekiel's Wills video so you can understand it better, because if I read it, you're not going to understand it unless you have a visual. I didn't even understand it when I was reading it until I understood the visual aspect of what he was talking about. Okay, so I'll send that video for those that request it. So I'm going to stop there with this, and we're going to jump straight on, we're going to jump straight on over into this, the book of Enoch. Excuse it, because it's like kind of messed up. Okay. So this is all about the Most High, right? The Holy and Great One. Yah, right? This whole book is about him, right? We know he created the heavens and the earth, right? So if he created the heavens and the earth, and he showed people like Enoch, you see this? Enoch's journey through the earth and show the first journey. Okay. Now, I would read this, but you guys ain't gonna understand it. Well, let's do it, right? Here we go. Let's read here. This tells you a lot about the earth, right? This tells you about the earth. Enoch took a journey. He didn't work. He didn't have technology. He didn't have fake science. He took a journey and looked with his own two eyes. Here it is. And they took me and they took and brought me to a place in which those who were like the flaming fire, and when they wished, they appeared as men. He's talking about these angels, right? Now watch this, listen carefully. He's giving you descriptions, okay? If you're gonna tell somebody what something looks like, you're not just gonna say, oh, it's flat. No, you're gonna give description. And then you take those descriptions, look into them, right? You look into these descriptions and you'll find the truth. You have to search for the truth. Why does it say, seek and ye shall find? It didn't say, sit back and listen to mankind and ye shall find. No, it didn't. It said, you seek and you will find. Okay. So it says here, and they brought me to the place of darkness, right? To the place of darkness. We get that in Genesis chapter 1. Read the whole chapter. And to a mountain of the point whose summit reached to heaven. Now, how is it that you're going to have a mountain whose summit reaches to heaven on a ball earth? It's not going to work. Which way is heaven? Which way is it? Up, down, left, right, front, or back on the ball? Which direction is it? Because when I read, he says, look up, straight up, not look up around to the side, down the ball, nothing. No. This is for understanding of the biblical truth about flat earth. This ain't to bash nobody. This is to get the truth out. Because I seen somebody in the comments on Nick's live, one of his videos, saying, I'm bashing him and I'm talking bad about him to his followers. No, I'm not. This is called edification. If you understand your Bible, you know what that means, right? Sometimes there is tough love. right? You have to show tough love to get through to people. But this ain't tough love. This is explanations right now. This is reading the word and having people have ears to hear and eyes to see, and then go out and do your own, searchings and findings and look into stuff, looking at what NASA's telling you, see if it ties in with what the Bible says. And if it doesn't, it's a lie. Remember, let God be true and every man a liar. Who created NASA? Man. Who's building these rockets? Man. Who's teaching these false, science and teachings in school? Man. You think Yah's not the best scientist, mathematician, and everything that he could be? You think he's just limited to one thing, like, oh, I'm going to create this, but I'm not going to put any numbers to it? Let's continue. So I'm going to read out from here, and I'm not going to stop. And I saw the places of the luminaries, the stars. I'm going to explain certain things as well. See, look, it says it here. And I saw the places of the luminaries and the treasures of the stars. See, he's telling you how it works on this earth. And of the thunder and the uttermost depths, where the fiery bow and arrows and their quiver and a fiery sword and all lightnings. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this page down. And they took me to the living waters and to the fire of the west, right? West is where America is. The fires of the west, right? Which receives every setting of the sun. So here we have it. This is to understand how the sun works. First, you got to understand what the earth is. So you know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west every day, right? So I'm going to show you a model after I get through with this, talking about the movements of the sun and everything like that, right? And it's going to fit right in with scripture. Nobody could refute it. And I'm going to be doing videos about the moon being out in the daytime, because it's going to start happening pretty soon once I get a clear day in California. All right. Also, we're going to continue. And I came to a river of fire, in which the fire flows like water and discharges itself into the great sea toward the west. And I saw great rivers, and came to a great river and to the darkness, and went to the place where no flesh walks. This is in Antarctica. No flesh walks down there. And I saw the mountains of the darkness of winter. You know that 6 months, six months of darkness, 6 months of daylight, right? He's either in the North Pole or in the South Pole, supposed South Pole. He's either in Antarctica or he's up where the Most High dwells. I think he was in Alaska. I mean, near Alaska and all like North Pole, right? Where the North Star sit. I saw mountains of darkness of winter, and the place whence all the waters of the deep flow. I saw the mouths of the rivers of the earth and the mouth of the deep. I saw the treasuries of the wind. I saw how he, the Most High, had furnished them with the whole creation and the firm foundations of the earth. What does it mean for something to be firm? I saw the cornerstone of the earth. Listen, the cornerstone. You know what a cornerstone looks like, don't you? It looks like a corner. That's why he says over and over, the four corners of the earth. A great sheet knit let down to the four corners of the earth, right? I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds which bear the earth and the firmament of heaven. So how's it that he sees the firmament of heaven let down to the earth where these mountains and all this stuff is, right? He's telling you how, look, he's telling you exactly what's in your Bible. And all you got to do is read all the flat earth scriptures in there, go by the book of Enoch and read this part, Enoch's journey through the earth and Sheol, and it'll add up. Just like in the first beginning of the book, it talks about the giants. Okay, it gives you all the detail about all the watcher angels. Look, his name is not Satan, it's Simjaza or Simyaza and Arekiba and Kokabiel and all those guys. You guys don't even know the real names of these angels. You don't even know what they taught people. We'll get into that later. I'll do a study on that later. We'll go to the beginning of this book and see how did transgression, sin, come to the earth after Adam and Eve. Saw the treasuries of the wind and how he furnished them with the whole creation and the firm foundations of the earth. I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds which bear the earth and the firmament of the heaven. And I saw how the winds stretch out over how the wind stretched out the vaults of heaven. So it stretched out the vault. Look at what a vault is. It says a dome. Look. When people say I'm crazy because I say it's a glass dome above us, I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you the truth from the Bible. Let's look at what a vault is. And I'm not talking about, there's different vaults. Okay, vault. Meaning vault. Here you go. Roof, a roof. Look at this, a roof in the form of an ark, or a series of arches, typical of churches and other large formal buildings, a large room or chamber used for storage, especially an underground one. Okay, let's look at more. Cellar. Let's look at this one at the top. Look at that. Dome. So look, arch, dome, arc, right? Arched roof, arched ceiling, like Hillary Clinton. Although we have not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, you can go look that up. She said it in the 2017 selection. Sorry. So here he says vault. And it's tied in with dome, as I told you guys it does, okay? So look, he says here, and I saw how the winds stretched out the vaults, the dome of heaven, and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of the heaven. Do you ever see on the ball them put pillars on a globe? I don't think so, because they're eliminating God from your mind and feeding you lies. I saw the winds of heaven, which run and bring the circumference, right? A circle has a circumference. I don't think a sphere has a circumference. I saw the circumference of the sun and all the stars in their setting. Right? Their setting. It doesn't say that the earth is moving that makes the sun and the moon and a star set. No, it says they move. You'll see it. Watch. I saw the winds of the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the paths of the angels. So when you guys say that you're looking through these telescopes and you're looking up and you see all that stuff going on, those are the angels that you're looking at. Just so you know what you're looking at up there, because it is going to be a deception. Look at this. I saw at the end of earth. How's it an end on that? Come on. Flat earth. He says, I saw the end of the earth. It's right here. I saw the end of the earth, the firmament of the heaven above. Oh, so it's above you. When you look in the sky, what is that? The firmament. You're looking at it. And I proceeded and saw a place which burns day and night. And there were 7 mountains of magnificent stones, 3 towards the east, 3 towards the south. And as for those toward the east, one was of colored stone, one of pearl, and one of jacinth, and towards the south of red stone. But the middle one reached to the heaven like the throne of Yah of alabaster, and the summit of the throne was of sapphire. And I saw a flaming fire, and beyond these mountains is a region, the end of the great earth. There you go. He said there's ends to the earth. Like when he says in the Bible, he says he shall gather his elect from one end of the earth even unto the other end. So how is it ends to the earth on the ball? If you're on the ball, there is no end. You just keep walking in the circle and you end up back in the same place, right? You could do the same thing on the flat earth, walking in circles. All you got to do is just keep walking in a circle. You'll end back up in the same place too. They think they think that you can't fly around the world if the earth is flat. You can walk circles on flat ground, but you just can't fly all the way around the world on a flat earth map. There the heavens was completed, and I saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire, and among them I saw columns of firefall, which were beyond measure, like towards the height and towards the depth. And beyond that abyss, I saw a place which had no firmament, no sky. It didn't have no sky. So if we're living on a globe and you could see the sky all around the globe, how is it that Enoch walks to the end of the earth to a place where there's no firmament above? The firmament is the sky. So it doesn't sound so crazy now, does it? It doesn't sound like I'm limiting God to a stupid flat earth, because it's not stupid and it is flat. And he created it and he showed Enoch. This is why they took this book out the Bible. Now, do you understand? You get this creation in Genesis, you only get a little piece of it, but he showed Enoch all of it. You'll see here. I saw a place which had no firmament of the heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. There was no earth beneath it. What? And there was no water upon it, no birds, but it was a waste and horrible place. I saw there 7 stars like great burning mountains, and to me when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, this is the place, this place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the hosts of heaven. He's telling you what it was made for over there. It's not outer space. And the stars which roll over the fire, and they which have transgressed, they broke God's laws. These are the stars, the angels that broke God's laws. Listen. And the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed the commandment of Yahuwah in the beginning of their rising. So they're the ones rising. It didn't say the earth makes them look like they're rising. It says they're doing it. Because they did not come forth, they did not move forth at their appointed times. And he was wroth with them and bound them till the time when their guilt shall be consummated, even for 10,000 years. So this earth is not that old, right? They say millions of years, okay? No, the Most High know how long it's been since he created this earth. And Uriel, we know Uriel is one of the archangels, one of God's 4 archangels. So Uriel said unto me, here shall stand the angels who have connected themselves with women, right? The Genesis 6 account, and their spirits, assuming many different forms, are defiling mankind, and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. Here shall they stand till the day of the great judgment, in which they shall be judged till they are made an end of. And the women also of the angels who went astray shall become sirens. And I, Enoch, alone saw the visions, the ends of all things, and no man shall see as I have seen. So ain't nobody else going to see it. So you might want to read it, because you're not going to see it. The only way you're going to understand it is if you hear from old Enoch, seventh from Adam. He tells you the names and the functions of the 7 archangels, the 7 spirits. You know, when he says in Revelations chapter 1, and he says in his right hand were 7 spirits, were 7 stars, and it's the 7 spirits of the churches. These are 7 archangels. Uriel, the holy one of the holy angels, who is over the world and over Tartarus, right? That's where the Tartarukian angels will be, for those that deny God, and they're going to be tormenting people. Just to let you know what's coming, if you deny God and you don't want to know him, he has a special place for you. So Sheol, or the underworld, let's get this. The fire that deals with the luminaries of heaven, you know, and we're going to get that. 7 mountains of the northwest, and the tree of life. Northwest is over here where we're at. So he went to the east, he went to the south, he went to the north, right? He gives parables. Let's see here. 4 archangels, Michael, Uriel, Phanuel, and Raphael. The 4 archangels. I know them by heart. I didn't have to read it. So it talks about astronomical secrets. That's why you guys don't understand this stuff. But see, here it is. I want to read this because everybody keeps talking about God is his son, and the Holy Spirit. Let's get this. The head of days being Yahuwah, the creator, and the Son of Man. Look at this. He says here, and I saw one who had a head of days, and his head was white like wool. Same one you get in Daniel 10:5, Daniel 7:9, and Revelations 1. It never changed. And even in Enoch, he has hair of wool. And with him was another being whose countenance had the appearance of a man, and his face was full of graciousness like one of the holy angels. And I asked the angel who went with me and showed me all the hidden things concerning that Son of Man, who he was and whence he was, and why he went with the head of days. So what, is he following himself? I don't think so. So when somebody tells you something that read their whole Bible and got these lost books, that they're all not the same, listen to us. We're telling you the truth. And he answered and said unto me, this is the Son of Man who hath righteousness, which whom dwelleth righteousness, right? Because he's not unrighteous, but Perry says, be unrighteous and he'll love you. No, Perry. Go back and study a little bit more. And who revealeth all the treasures of that which is hidden, because the Lord of spirits, right, the Most High, because the Most High, let's just call him that, because the Most High hath chosen him, and whose lot hath been preeminence before the Most High in uprightness forever. So he's talking about his son. And this son of man whom thou hast seen shall rise up the kings and the mighty from their seats and the strong from their thrones, and shall loose the reins of the strong and break the teeth of the sinners, of the ones that transgress the laws. They don't keep them, they break them. And they teach men to do so, like Perry. He shall put down the kings from their thrones and kingdoms, because they do not extol or praise him, nor humbly acknowledge whence the kingdom they was bestowed upon them. And he shall put down the countenance of the strong, and shall fill them with shame. And darkness shall be their dwelling, and worms shall be their bed, and they shall have no hope of rising from their beds, because they do not extol the name of the Most High. And these are they who judge the stars of heaven, and raise their hands against the Most High, and tread upon the earth and dwell upon it, and their deeds manifest unrighteousness, and their power rests in their riches, and their faith is in the gods which that they have made with their hands. See, you guys are making gods to your likeness, and that's not cool. When he says don't do something and you say, oh, it's okay, it's all right. Oh, this God here says I can go and eat whatever I want, so I'm gonna follow this God. This God says, outer space is real, so let me go follow this God. This God says, meditate and open yourself up to divination and demonic entities and familiar spirits, so we'll follow that one. This one talks about astrology, so we'll follow that God. This one tells us about spell casting, so let's go follow that one. You see what's going on here? Ain't nobody following the real one. And they deny the name of the Most High. Oh, there you go. Well, he has a special place set up for you guys. Be ready. We're in the last days, remember? And they persecute the house of his congregation, like me when I was on those live feeds, and you guys can go back and look. This is how you tell who's really following the Most High. They will be hated. They're not going to be liked. And the faithful who hung upon the name of the Most High, the prayers of the righteous for vengeance, and their joy at its coming. Okay? So we're going to be joyful when the Most High is dealing punishment on you guys for putting us through so much. But I wanted to get the sun. Okay, this is the Noah Fragmatic, on the first world judgment, the flood, right? So I want to get this thing about the sun, and I'm trying to find it. It's supposed to be somewhere here. Where's the course of the heavenly luminaries? I need to find the course of the heavenly luminaries, because that's where it talks about that. This is going to be a kind of lengthy video, because I got to, go back and forth through these pages and find what I'm looking for, because... Okay, that's the fire that deal with the luminaries. Let me see. I'm looking for the course of the heavenly luminaries, because that's where it talks about the movement of the sun, the moon, the waxing, the waning of the moon, the different phases of the moon and what they mean and how are you supposed to read that. So it says the lights and the thunder. This deals with the earth, so I'm going to read this. In those days mine eyes saw the secrets of the lightnings and of the light, and the judgments they execute, lit their judgments, and they lighten for a blessing or for a curse, as the Most High willeth. And there I saw the secrets of the thunder, and how when it resounds above the heaven, the sound thereof is heard. We know that. We hear thunder all the time. And he caused me to see the judgments executed on the earth, whether they be for well-being and blessing, or for a curse, according to the word of Yahuwah. And after that, all the secrets of the lights and lightnings were shown to me, and they lighten for blessing and for satisfying. Okay. The quaking of heaven, behemoth and leviathan. We'll get into that. That's not dealing with the earth. I'm trying to stay on track and deal with everything that deals with earth and the things about earth and the creation of earth. So this is the fallen angels and their punishment. God's promise to Noah. Functions. See, and this is another thing. The names and functions of the fallen angels and Satans. It's more than one Satan. The secret oath. So Satan is not a name. It's a title. Just like God is a title, Satan is a title too. Okay. His real name is Simyaza, right? His real name is Simyaza. Book of the heavenly luminaries. You see this? The sun. You're going to get explanation of what the sun does, and I'm going to show you on this here. Excuse me. I'm going to show you here. I'm going to fast forward it, right? Show you here. It doesn't sound so crazy when you read and you understand what is being done. No thanks. Okay, so look at this. I'm going to play this. You see that? This is how he created it. Now, when people say, oh, the whole earth's supposed to be lit up. No. If the sun is sitting on this side and the moon is on that side, one side's going to be lit and one side's not, as you see here, right? And this is what I was saying. This is how you always get the sun rising in the east on America, setting in the west. And it just goes around in a circle and they move in and out. Summertime, they're more closer in on this ring here. As you see this ring here, on the winter, they're on the outer ring, right? On the outer ring. See how the moon, look, they even get the moon phases. The moon in the daylight, how it's transparent, and then it goes away. It fades out, okay? And it goes close to the sun. How do they explain that? Okay? Now, let's get this about the sun. We know that everything rises in the east and sets in the west. It does not change. Does not change. It doesn't change because man and their numbers say so. Book of the heavenly luminaries, the sun. The book of the courses of the luminaries of heaven, the relations of each, according to their classes, their dominion, their seasons, according to their names and places of origin, and according to their months, which Uriel, the holy angel, who was with me, who is their guide, showed me, and showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how it is with regard to all the years of the world and unto eternity, until the new creation is accomplished, which dureth till eternity, which endureth until eternity. And this is the first law of the luminaries. This is the law that the luminaries go by. The luminary, the sun, has its rising in the eastern portals of heaven. We know the sun rises in the east every day and sets in the west. So anybody smart guys want to tell us about this? And it's setting in the west of the portals of heaven. I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets, and the moon rises and sets in these portals, and the leaders of the stars and those whom they led, the 6 in the 6 in the east and 6 in the west, and all following each other in accurately corresponding order. Also many windows to the right and to the left of these portals. And first there goes forth the great luminary named the sun, right? He made the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. Genesis 1:14 through 16 or 17. Read it. It's the same understanding. You're just getting a little bit more understanding about the earth with Enoch. Science don't prove nothing. They cannot comprehend the way of the Most High. They can't. I saw 6 portals. Okay, I read that. Also many windows. Okay, and first there goes forth the great luminary named the sun, and his circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and he is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. The chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the heaven and returns through the north. Right? Let me just read this for you. Let me just do this for you. Okay? You see that? Let me read now as you're watching this. So it says, the chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the heaven and returns through the north in order to reach the east. Like this, in order to reach the east is over here. So it has to go around, okay? It has to go around, it's telling you. So keep watching, keep looking. So it says here, the chariot, okay, I read that. So it returns through the north in order to reach the east, and so is guided that he comes to the appropriate lit that portal that shines in the face of the heaven. This is why, in this way, he rises in the first month in the great portal, which is the fourth. Those 6 portals in the cast, and in the fourth portal from which the sun rises in the first month are 12 window openings, from which proceedeth a flame when they are open in their season. When the sun rises in the heaven, he comes forth. That means it moves, right? As you see here, it moves. I keep telling people that the sun and the moon move because I read this. I understand what God created. He's communicated it to me already. Which proceeds forth a flame, and they are open in their season. When the sun rises in the heaven, he comes forth from that portal 30 mornings in succession, like 30 days in a month, right? And sets accurately in the fourth portal in the west of the heaven. That means it rises in the east and it sets in the west. There's no mystery behind it. And during this period, the day becomes daily longer. That's when we have daylight savings, guys. You know about that, but they don't tell you who did it. During this period, the day becomes daily longer, and the night nightly shorter to the 13th morning. On that day, the day is longer than the night by a 9th part. And the day accounts exactly into 10 parts, and the night into 8 parts. And the sun rises from the 4th portal and sets in the 4th and returns to the 5th portal of the east 30 mornings and rises from it and sets in the 5th portal. And then the days become longer by 2 parts and amounts to 11 parts, and the night becomes shorter and amounts to 7 parts. So do you guys understand that? But you guys are telling me that the flat earth is stupid. I mean, look at how he created it so far. Can you understand? Can you even comprehend how the sun is moving through the sky like that and going through these portals and switching and moving on its own, not the earth? Can you imagine this creation? You couldn't fathom the thought because you're blinded by science. When he was telling us the whole time, his creation, we don't need man. We need the Most High to tell us everything. And he did. It's in his word. Read the whole chapter. Stop cherry picking. You're never going to understand if you're a cherry picker. You see how I'm reading it all the way through and you're getting some kind of an understanding about things, right? This is how it's done. You have to read it like it's a regular book. You don't skip around in your novel when you're reading a good novel to find out the story. No, you read it from cover to cover. So why can't you read the Bible like that, cover to cover? Then you'll understand it. All right, now let's continue. And the sun mounts up to make the day shorter than the night, and the night longer. And the day returns to the east, and the sun returns to the east and enters into the sixth portal and rises from it and sets 30 mornings, right? So 30 days. Come on now, you guys understand this stuff. You don't tell me that you're so blind and dumb to this. He's giving you the clearest understanding you could ever get. This is like I'm talking to a 1-year-old telling somebody this. When 30 mornings are accomplished, the day decreases by exactly 1 part and becomes 11 parts, and the night 7. Excuse me. And the sun goes forth, it moves from the 6th portal to the west and goes to the east and rises in the 5th portal for the 30 mornings, and sets in the west again in the 5th portal. On that day, the day decreases by 2 parts and amounts to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun goes forth from the 5th portal and sets in the 5th portal of the west and rises in the 4th portal for 31 mornings, on account of its sign, and sets in the west. On that day, the day is equalized with the night. That means they're both, it's 12 hours in the day and then it's 12 hours in the night. Okay. And becomes of equal length. See, there you go. There's the clarification right there. And the night amounts to 9 parts and day to 9 parts. And the sun rises from that portal and sets in the west and returns to the east and rises 30 mornings in the 3rd portal and sets in the west in the 3rd portal. And on that day, the night becomes longer than the day, and the night becomes longer than night, and the day shorter than day, until the 13th morning, and the night amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the day to 8 parts. And the sun rises from that 3rd portal and sets in the 3rd portal in the west and returns to the east. And for 30 mornings rises in the 2nd portal in the east, and in like manner sets in the 2nd portal in the west of heaven. On that day, the night amounts to 11 parts and the day into 7 parts. And the sun rises on that day from the 2nd portal and sets in the west in the... Wow, this is just like, fascinating here, right? So we're just going to read the sun for now. Then we're going to go later into the moon phases, the lunar year, right? And we're going to go into, the lunar year is kind of long, so we're going to have to take time on that. And the 12 winds and their portals, and the 4 quarters of the world, 7 mountains and 7 rivers, etc., right? So it's a lot. He's telling us a lot in this, Okay. In the west of the 2nd portal and returns to the east, until the 1st portal, 1 and 30 mornings, 31 mornings again, and sets in the 1st portal of the west and of the heaven. And on that day, night becomes longer and amounts to a double of the day, and the night amounts exactly to 12 parts, and the day to 6. And the sun has therewith traversed the division of his orbit, and turns, see, it says the sun therewith transversed the divisions of his orbit. So that's what's orbiting up there. That's what's in orbit. Okay. And turns again on those divisions of his orbit and enters that portal 30 mornings and sets also in the west opposite to it. And on that night has the night decreased in length by a 9th part, and The night has become 11 parts and the day 7 parts. And the sun has returned and entered into the second portal in the east and returns on those divisions of his orbit for 30 mornings, rising and setting. And on that day, the night decreases in length and the night amounts to 10 parts and the day to 8. Oh gosh. And this is a lot of information. Okay. And on that day, the sun rises from that portal and sets in the west and returns to the east and rises in the third portal for 1 and 30 mornings, 31 days, and sets in the west of heaven. On that day, the night decreases and amounts to 9 parts and the day to 9 parts. And the night is equal to the day and the year is exactly as to its days 364. So it's supposed to be 364 days, not 365 in a leap year. No, this is why we don't understand the true calendar, right? And the length of the day and of the night and the storehouse and the shortness of the day and of the night arise through the corner of through the course of the sun. These distinctions are made. They are separated. So it comes that its course becomes daily longer and its course nightly shorter. And this is the law and the course of the sun. And his return is often as he returns 60 times and rises, i.e. the great luminary which is named the sun for ever and ever. And that which thus rises is the great luminary and is so named according to his appearance, according to as Yahuwah commanded. As he rises, so he sets and decreases not and rests not, but runs day and night, and his length is sevenfold brighter than that of the moon. So it says he's brighter than the moon. But as regards size, they are both equal. So they're both the same size, like I've been telling you guys. I'm not lying to you. Why would I lie? Only science lies. So guys, I'll be back and share with you the moon phases and the lunar years, because that's gonna be like a whole thing. And then we'll see about the sun and moon, the waxing and waning of the moon. Yeah. So when I come back, we're going to cover the moon phases, the lunar year, and the waxing and waning of the moon. So we could get this all clear, dealing with the celestial, the luminaries, right? And then we'll go into the earth and have him describe the earth and how it stretches out and how it spans forever and ever, right? On that, it doesn't span forever and ever. You see, from that corner to this corner, that's a span forever and ever, right? So I hope this is very informative. Please read your Bibles. And if you don't believe it, just, take the time out. Like he said to Job, stand still and just consider the wondrous works of Yah. With that said, peace and blessings, y'all. Shalom. And I hope the Most High bless each and every one of you guys looking at this with knowledge and wisdom.